Let me begin by telling you the popular story of Stalin's strategy of controlling the masses. Joseph Stalin was the dictator of Soviet Union many years ago. Was a dictator in Soviet Union. Soviet Union does not exist again. It's now broken into smaller countries. USSR is the Soviet Union. It's broken now. You have Russia, you have Ukraine, a number of them broken out of the former big union called USSR. That's Soviet Union. All right. So this man called Stalin held a meeting with his closest friends. And he said he wanted to show them how easy it was to control people who have been subjugated. So they were in a room. The door was shut. And he took a chicken, live chicken. Live chicken. He held it in his hands and he began to pluck his feathers. Pluck it, pluck it, pluck it. It's easy to pluck a dead chicken because it's dead already. But when you are plucking the feathers, a lot of time you pluck the skin also with it. And blood will be coming out if it's live. But you see, this one was alive. And the thing was screaming as Stalin was picking his feathers. And after some time, he made it completely naked, bleeding all over. The thing was shouting, kill, that kind of thing. And then eventually he threw it on the floor. Of course, when he threw it on the floor, freed from that torture, the chicken quickly tried to get away from the place. But he ran all over the room and there was no door to exit. Since there was no exit for it, it readily returned back to the Stalin that was troubling him. And at that time, Stalin now put his hand in his pocket and brought out some grains. And he began to throw it to the chicken. And the chicken began to pick it, eat it. As Stalin was walking around, he was dropping it. And the chicken was following him around. Everywhere he went, the chicken was following him. Because he was giving the food to the chicken. And he faced his people. He said, that's how to control the people. That's how to control people. That became Stalin's popular strategy of subjugation, controlling people. It's one of the things he taught the world. And many politicians took that from him. And I want to let you know that that's the strategy of most of our Nigerian politicians, African politicians. The same strategy, Stalin's strategy. Pluck off everything he has. Make him bare, naked. Make sure there's no other assistance for him. And then begin to throw little at him. He will come to you. He will come and sit down under your feet. He will be calling you Babariri Babake. That is the political strategy of Africa. Taken from Stalin. Meanwhile, I'm not trying to tell you about politicians. That's not my interest this morning. I just need you to know that that same strategy has become a popular operational strategy of the Nigerian pastors and their churches. And that's the 25th error that God wants me to call attention to in the Nigerian church. Well, welfare is a strong teaching of Jesus Christ. He taught every believer to do welfare, take care of the poor, give to assist people who don't have. But his teaching about welfare is very different from most other religions. You know, there are plenty of religions in the world, and all of them have teachings about welfare, taking care of the poor. But the teachings of Jesus is by far different from all of them. And I need you to look at it so that we understand what I'm getting at today. Go to Matthew chapter 6, and I'll take my text from there, from verse 1 to 4. Matthew chapter 6, I'm reading from verse 1. It says, "Beware of practicing your righteousness before other people, in order to be seen by them. For then you will have no reward from your Father who is in heaven. Thus, when you give to the needy, sound no trumpet before you, as the hypocrites do in the synagogues and in the streets, that they may be praised by others. Truly I say to you, they have received their reward. But when you give to the needy, do not let your left hand know what your right hand is doing, so that your giving may be in secret. And your Father who sees in secret will reward you." Now, these 4 verses codify the messages of Jesus on welfare, taking care of the needy, giving to the poor. Of course, he wants you to give to the poor. He wants the church, the believers, to give to the poor. But he has standards by which it should be done. But the welfare you see in the Nigerian church today is not what Jesus taught. No, it is the Stalin strategy that we have subscribed to. The churches have subscribed to the Stalin strategy.